Hi friends, welcome to Moms and Money, where we talk about managing money, making money, and saving money for the women in the household. And today we are talking about something that I really look forward to doing every single year, and that is getting organized and preparing our finances for the next year, for 2021. Almost like a financial reset for 2021. And what I like about this so much is that you're able to look at your spending, what worked for you, what went well, and what didn't work so well, and what are some of the things you want to change for the next year. I love doing this. I love looking back at the previous years and how our spending has changed over the years. I have this going back to 2011 was the first year that we did it, and every year I've done this. And I think it's really important to start now and not necessarily wait until January because, well, first of all, when we're in the midst of the holiday season, we have so many other priorities that take place. Usually you're not thinking about your budget. And then come January, it's like you're scrambling, like you're in the midst of it, and it's like you want to have a plan already in place before 2021 starts so that you know exactly what the game plan is and you're not trying to figure it out as the month progresses. So yeah, that's why I love doing this every year. I love keeping track and I love holding on to it. It's almost like a memory keepsake. I'm so strange, but it is. And I really do enjoy that. All right, so I have my budgeting printables here. These are some of my budgeting printables. I personally do this in Excel. I love doing it in Excel because I can keep track of the years in one spreadsheet. But I know many of you are a paper and pen type of budgeter, and that's fine too. That's why I created these printables for you. Do whatever works best. Some of you guys do a combination of both. Again, do what works best for your family. Now, these are some of my student loan budgeting printables. I love this so much that I want to make another one because we have a big financial goal to like finish our basement and to buy my car, like the next car that we purchase. So I'm going to make some more of these budgeting trackers. I really like it a lot because it just, I don't know, there's something about coloring it in that does something for me. So yeah, these are my student loan information. Again, links for all of these are in the description box. Now, this is important that you do this now as well. You have your financial mission statement as a family, what your long-term goals are as a family, any debt that you owe currently, and any notes that you want to add to for the year, for the up and coming year. And this is something that, I don't know, it's just helpful to come back, especially when you're feeling discouraged and you feel unmotivated. This is something that you can always go back to and read and look at, especially when you have your family finance meetings. If you've never had a family finance meeting, now is the time to do that as well so that you guys are all on the same page, come 2021. And if your children are old enough to kind of understand what a budget is and what money is and how you use that, I think it's important to start them, and the earlier, the better. So you definitely want to do that. And then here is your family budgeting meeting checklist. You have your to-do list to review any budgeting, all your stuff here, anything that's working, some wins, some short-term goals, what needs work, notes, upcoming expenses. This is something that my husband and I do every quarter because we're almost like a well-oiled machine at this point. But when we were first starting though, this is something that we would do once a month. Some families even meet once a week if you're budgeting like that. If you budget paycheck per paycheck, I suggest you meet however you budget. So if you budget paycheck to paycheck, then you need to have a meeting every paycheck. If you budget month to month, then you need to have a meeting every month. If you budget semi-monthly, then semi-monthly. I budget monthly, and my husband knows the whole process and what I do, and he looks at the spreadsheet when he's curious. And then quarterly, we have these meetings about, okay, well, where are we at in terms of our financial goal? What are we doing that needs work? What are we doing that's working? Kind of quarterly kind of thing. And of course, the groceries list and meal planner, all of these things are super important because you want to continue to, budget for your groceries, girl. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. We're still not going out to eat. We order takeout, but I'm still focusing on cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my entire family while we're home during this. And this freezer inventory list has been incredibly helpful for me. Okay, so that's just kind of like a preview of some of the things you could do. Definitely set up your family budgeting meeting, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of what I think is really important. This is my budgeting printables binder that I just made several months ago when I started creating these printables. I keep our inventory list in here, our meal planning in here, budget tracker. This is just a sample. I don't budget with pen and paper. I'm more of a Excel person, but for our grocery budget tracker, I definitely use the pen and paper. Now this is the monthly budgeting printable. This is important again to look at and set up. But to me, the most important thing that you can do right now is to review your annual budget. So you're probably thinking, well, Gia, why is an annual budget so important? Well, it's important because it gives you a 30,000 foot view of how you did with your budget for the entire year, instead of looking at one individual month. So for instance, maybe in a particular month, you spent a lot more on your electricity. And you can see for certain months you spend more on your electricity on this. So it helps you to project, you know, what your future expenses are going to be. Or maybe you went a little bit crazy at Target at a certain months. Then you know, okay, well, these couple of months, we spent a lot of money at Target. We're gonna have to review that for next year when we set up our budget. And it just helps you to know, okay, exactly how much money did we make? When you're just looking at your monthly view, it's just, you just get stuck in that monthly mode, like, okay, this is the amount of money that I need to budget for, $2,500. Here are all my expenses. And then you never really look at, okay, well, how did we do overall for the entire year? Did we actually make more than we actually spent for the entire year as a whole, as opposed to just looking at 1 month or one paycheck? You look at the whole year to pretty much see how you did with your budget, whether you made more than you projected you were going to make, whether you spent more than you projected you were going to spend. And this, when you analyze your annual budget, it helps you to make projections for the next year. And if you guys need me to do a video about how I project our income and our expenses and all of that stuff, leave a comment down below and I will do that video for you. It doesn't matter if you like to budget by paycheck or by month, semi-monthly, whatever. Once you understand this and the flow of this and how you're actually doing, it will help you be a budget better when it comes to however you like to budget, whether it be by month or by paycheck. Once you understand your annual budget as well, it'll help you create your budget categories better, and update and try to predict and project what you're going to spend in each category. Because what I typically do is I look at what I spent for the whole year and take an average of that and project that is what the expense is going to be for the entire year and spread that over the months. But as you analyze your annual budget, you'll see that maybe you spend more during the warmer months for electricity as opposed to the cooler months. So you know to increase your budget for electricity during that time, and then on the cooler months you lower it. It just helps you to get a better over understanding of your budget, and especially when it comes to updating your budget categories for the next year. So when you're getting ready to, and I did a whole video about budget categories, creating budget categories. If you haven't seen it, you can tap this eye right here. But when you're getting ready to do your budget categories and how much they are and what categories you need, maybe you need to remove some categories, this is the time to do it when you're looking over your annual budget, so we can get ready for the next year and pretty much reset for the next year. The next thing you want to do is evaluate your long-term and short-term savings. Now, an emergency fund is like a combination of long-term and short-term savings, because you never know if or when you're going to need it. And whatever your goal is, see how far you've come to reach your goal for that year. Again, all of this should be on your annual budget. You can do landscape view or portrait view as well, landscape view in both. You see how far you've come with your emergency fund, or maybe you're saving for a vacation, or you're saving to buy a new washer and dryer. See how far you've come for the whole year, how far you have to go, so that you can update your long-term and short-term savings goals. And that's another thing that you can do. And then the last thing you need to do when it comes to resetting for the next year is to decide on a budgeting strategy for 2021. So maybe you were budgeting monthly, but you really didn't like it, or you weren't keeping up with it. You need something with more accountability. Maybe you could start budgeting weekly or having family budgeting meetings more. So I would suggest creating a list of things that worked, of things that didn't work, and then decide now how you want to try it for the next year. Again, you can always change it, you guys. Nothing is set in stone. You know, you can always change it, but it's important to start thinking about and making these decisions now, so that come January, you're not like running around trying to finalize something before the new year starts. Because I know, it's a new year, it's a new energy, you have new goals, you have maybe you have different priorities. You want to start thinking about those things now, girl, and bring in 2021 with some fresh, what I like to say, fresh juice. Okay, because girl, 2020, that juice was sour. Okay. I mean, it's just so much going on, y'all. And even though God has blessed my family tremendously during 2020 and in so many ways, but also, it was very traumatic for so many of us. And so we're going to have to heal from that. And so you don't want something like your finances to be an extra burden to your family. Okay, just take the initiative to gain control of it so that you know that you are the director of your finances. And when money comes in, it's not like it's already somebody else's, like it's already, it's so much for the mortgage and it's so much for the kids and it's so much for that. You decide where you want your money to go. Okay, so that's pretty much what I do to reset the year. Leave a comment down below and let me know, have you decided on when you're going to reset your year or what you're going to do differently for next year? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can tap my picture on the screen, and you can also check out my previous video right next to it, and all of my social media platforms all listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.